Get all the materials in hand. Let's start with the quantity of that material. Handheld. Do 3, 4, 5 with one hand. $20 in total. Take the other materials to the side for later use. Get this material. This one, you can see that there is a thread that has been sewn. Then there's a thread behind this. Let's put this thread away first. Get the needle first and hide this thread. 2 ways to hide lines. One is to cut it directly here. Hide it here. Click the glue directly and another way is to receive it inside this. Receive this place. If this line is long enough, that's it. Thread the needle into this thread first. Then go through the next hole. Don't wear it to the front while wearing it. Come out of this gap. Hide it in. And then another one. If this thread is cut particularly short, if it is cut very short first, the needle can't go through it. Let's put the needle in first. Thread the thread out first. Thread the needle out first. Take this thread after wearing it out. Suppose the line is this short. You see? It's only so short. There is no way for him to thread the needle first. So let's put the needle through first. Then go through this thread again. Pull it out when you're dressed. He came all over. The line is closed inside. Then tighten the thread. After tightening, cut it out. Take a piece of paper first. Take the bigger one. This is all crushed by glue. Then get the toothpick you usually use at home. Use a spare needle without a toothpick. There are 5 to 4 needles. Use 2. Others are kept as spares. I got a toothpick here. Then get the glue. Glue and materials are kept away from 30 to 50 centimeters. He won't get when he falls down and teach everyone how to do it. After opening, dip the glue with a toothpick. Go this way. Click on the thread you just cut. I'll take it away first. Then bring it over. Put it with a toothpick first. First, use a toothpick to knock it down like this. After it is knocked down, his area will be larger. Let's be better like this. Dip in glue. You can only click on this thread. Can't point on the material on both sides. This is fine. This is ready. Okay, then what? This is Hofu. This position is Kyangfu. This hijab of Kyangfu sewn on this back blessing. So here, we have a square hole. Let's sew the square hole first. Get the needle and thread. Get the needle and thread. Find the thread. Roughly estimate the length of this position here. About this length, we will measure the width of this bag. Quantity 3 times 12. Double or triple the line. Threading the needle first passes the thread through the eye of the needle. Pull it out a little after going through it. Pull out a section like this. Pull to about 7 or 8 centimeters. Then use this needle tip to go through this pulled out needle and thread through it. Then pull the back wire tight and it holds in place. Thread. This is the other end of the same thread. Thread the needle the same way. Go through first. Pull out a section. After pulling out a section, use this needle tip to wear. Pull out a section of this thread. This place can be left longer. Once you pull it, it's fixed. This white one is wax. The wax on this thread, we can scrape it with our fingernails. It can scrape out this white transparent wax. After wearing the thread, take this square one. First, teach everyone how to distinguish between it is round and back. And it's big. Then turn it over and look at the hole on the back will be small. And the edge of this hole, it's the sharper one. Get the needle and put it through the bottom. Just turn it over and find a hole to go through. Let's find this first hole in the lower right corner. This is left. This is first hole in the lower right corner. Here's the first shot. And then we get the second needle through its adjacent hole. 2 needles pull double pull at the same time. Cycloid pendulum down. The needle that comes out of the first hole is pierced through the second hole. When we put it like this, you see, the hand is carrying this thread hard. This hole is a space. This line, it's underneath it. Is there a hole above it? We're going to stick a needle down. Wear it down and wear it to the front. Penetrate a hole. Wear it to the front. Then pull to the second hole. The line that comes out goes to the third hole. Don't cross this line. When it goes down, you can't poke this thread in the hole. Hack this line. If you hit the line, the first is that it doesn't look good. The wire cannot be tightened. So it can only pass through the hole. Then from the fourth hole, each hole is sewn twice. You see, he just put it on once. Now go down and wear it again. This is the second time. And that's it. Just sew a hole. Keep the direction of the cycloid. Line tensioning. Tighten it like this first, and then sew it. As long as it's straight, we have to keep this direction of the white line. every hole is sewn in the same way. If you come here, all the holes have been sewn. Connect all. After all are connected, go back or forward. To reinforce a needle, just sew the sewn hole again. Be sure not to curve when sewing again. Curves don't look good. When taking up the line, to be collected keep internally. The line inside. Teach everyone how to close the line. Leave 2 millimeters when cutting the thread. Take something and press it. Then come to some glue. Turn on the glue. Dip a toothpick in a small amount of glue. Spread the roast duck in small amounts on the small thread that was cut. Roast duck, roast. Duck. Roast duck, roast duck. Roast duck, roast duck. Fold the glue. Immediately cover the glue first. After covering, use scissors to flatten the glue on the suture. The glue will not come into contact with the material throughout the process. The pressure is on the suture, so it doesn't come into contact with the material. It's done. Now start sewing this position of the belt. Peripheral, hole position. This lead line. This is a circle. We're going to double the threads. Let's see how long it is. The distance between this hole, a lap is about this long. No more than 15 centimeters. So, under normal circumstances, 6 times the amount of thread. 1, 2, 3, 4. 6 times the line. Then cut about 5 to 6 centimeters more when cutting. That's it. Just estimate it first. This length of this hole. Because the length of this hole is not very long. He needs multiples. He needs more than 10 centimeters. More than 10 centimeters. And then there's the thickness. Thicker, more wires. The thread, 6 times the length of the measuring hole, is threaded normally. We need to sew this whole circle. Find a hole, start the needle, and thread the bottom face to face. The second needle passes through its adjacent hole. Pull. Sew forward. Put the line I am now on the left. Just put each stitch on the left. When going through this hole, be sure to bring this thread when wearing it down next to him. Don't rub it against that thread, like this. Whether it is rubbing against the line or rub it against the skin in that hole, he will form that kind of wear down. The situation where you can't wear it down and rub it in, it means it's not in the hole. When stitching, normally, you look at the front. Every hole must be sewn. No jumping. All the holes are sewn. Reinforcement. Just sew the hole sewn in front again. Then hide all the wires inside. The take-up at this location is the same as just now. We cut it a little longer and keep it together later. And then there's this hole here. It also needs to be sewn according to this method. So each of these holes according to the method. It's being sewn. We need to look at the front. The stitches look good on the front, so we need to look at the front first. Always look face up when sewing. After this one is all sewn, there is also an aftersuit here. There are four. There are two more here. These two are sewn like this normally. Don't worry about this belt hole here. Don't worry about it. Just sew the hole around this big hole first. There are 4 in total. There are also 4 on this material. Is also lurking above our two. There are 14 such large holes. The small holes around need to be sewn. Sew it in the same way. Receive all lines and receive them internally. Each of these holes is sewn. This is also sewn. Now, sew this bag cover after serving. This nail line, always sew now our nail threads. No need to sew with other materials. It works by itself. And, at this location, first, measure twice the line. First measure twice the line. That's double. Twice. Triple. 4 times the amount of 4 times the line. A position like this can be upright. Here. Then come over 1 or 2, because come here, go back. Like this. Seam. This hole in the line of the cover starts to needle. You start from the outside in. From the inside Can't afford out. This place has been sewn once. Good to wear out. From the outside in, like this after first, wearing then it out, take this thread and go through the second hole. Then double pull the needle. There's the same amount of wire on either side. Normal forward seam. Just sew normally. Just turn the corner when you encounter it. Encounter this different shape. Now he's going to turn this way. Turn left. Just turn around. Come here like this. Just follow the hole. How the hole turns. Keep the pattern of the white line. Like this straight line. You have to go from this place to the last hole. Must be to maintain the direction of a white line. These three are a white line direction. Just keep it good. So it all sew to the end of the last hole. Sew to the penultimate stitch. You don't need to wear the thread on the bottom side. We put the thread on this side of the noodle and come out of this seam. Go up. Then, reinforce a needle. Hide the thread inside. Take it up with a lighter. When cutting the thread, leave about 3 to 4 millimeters. Then use the fire of a lighter to melt it. Don't let it burn. To melt it and then flatten it. That's it. Just sew it along this line. This is the back. This is lurking. This is the front blessing bag cover connected to the back blessing. And then this is the interior of Hofu. It looks like this. This is how it will be covered. Get to the bottom. There are also 2 small patches with anti-wear nails. The synovial spike is on this side and the front. The bottom is also face up. Divide the front and back first. Then sew on both sides. Measuring line. These two add up to be quite thick. So, when we measure the line, width of the quantity, measure the width of the base. The amount like this. Expansion 1.12. 345,678 8 times. Then measure more. Measure the bottom of the bag. This width, this thickness. It's called 8 times the thickness. After measuring the line, we take one side and we sew. The other one is sewn the same way. Sew one side first. Find the one in the lower right corner. First hole. Start the needle from the inside to the front. Here's the first shot. And you get this little piece of material. It is also the hole in the lower right corner. Start the needle from the back to the front. For the second stitch, sew the hole near him. Both needles go through, double pull the thread. Double pull wire. Sew forward. This position is so be sure to tighten it when measuring the wire. Tension line. Move forward. This is the back. This is the head. Both materials are facing up. Come straight over. Turn around. Return to the original position. Full circle sewing. Take out the last vacancy. all sewn. Reinforce a needle. Because they're both stereotyped, it's very hard, so the needle
When you
can't be pulled out.
This
Threading place should not be in the
While
hole.
outside,
Shake the needle up, down, vertical
left.
needle
Don't
right.
pull it diagonally
Pulling the needle
like that.
diagonally broke the nest. Vertical needle pull. When the needle is still 1 centimeter
Shake it
outside,
up and down.
make the needle more
Then
spacious.
pull
the needle vertically. On the other side, this anti-wear pad is also placed here. Sew it in the same way. Both cushions are sewn together. Put it aside for backup. Get the lanyard. A bow. The lanyard has
One
two
end
ends
is
cut like this. There are 4 holes at one end. Get the key. Get this hole. This place goes down. Go through the front to the bottom. Then thread this key between these 2 holes. Then fold the 2 holes in half. 2 holes, 2
Fold
holes,
it in half.
fold in half. And let's sew this position. Measure the length of the lanyard to sew the key. We start the needle. It's got like 2 holes. Just sew these 2 holes repeatedly. Sew a few more times. It's thicker. If you can't pull it, just
Up,
shake it
down,
like this. Left, right. Then hide the thread in this gap. Get this one. Next hole, hide in the gaps when wearing. Then get another one. It is also to go through the next hole. Come out of this seam when wearing it. Hide it in this. Put it away like this first. Put it away and put some glue. When the glue is turned on, be sure to pat it with another piece of paper. It's ready. Can you do it later? Take the bow off. You can do it without taking it off. This is also possible. You need to sew this row of holes here. This one is a separate 2-wire needle. And this side is also a separate needle. And it ends. Measure 6 times this length. Turn it on 6 times the quantity to 6 times both the quantity. Sides, left and right sewn. Sides. We start the needle. First stitch through first stitch. Second needle through second needle. Double pull wire. all sewn. Then reinforce it backwards. And the long wire gets to one of the wires. Next hole. While sewing, go through this gap. Then cut it. Take up the thread later and cut it first, and then go to some glue. Then measure the line on this side as well. That has just been measured is threaded normally. This accessory is all sewn. You can hide this key inside. Find this lurking. There is a square in the middle. Hole position. You need to add this lock seat. This can be rotated. Put it up. It's a rectangle, narrow up and down. The wide one is left and right. Measuring line. First, measure twice the line. 5 times the amount of line. 3, 4, 5 or 5 times then the measure line. An extra 10 centimeters. Find one of the holes. What I'm looking for here is the hole in this corner. The second needle goes through its adjacent style. Sew forward. Sew it slowly. He is also square. One circular and one sewn. Sew to the end of the needle. Sew all the holes. Put the line inside. Then come back to pick up the line later. Normally. Lighter take-up and glue take-up are both okay. Put it aside for later use. Get the back width and turn it over. This is the back width. The front cover. It's attached to the back. We need to sew belts now. Bring the belt. The two belts are divided into front and back sides. Small reverse side. After dividing the front and back, the belt is to be sewn in this place. 1, 2, 3, 4, there 5, are 11 6, holes that need 7, to be placed on the back. 9 are sewn separately. So we're going to start here. Count this way from the pointed hole. After the sixth seam is completed, back seam and finish these 11. Then sew this belt separately. Sew to the end. Shiliang line. Measuring 8 times 12 of the whole length of the straight arch. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Heads. Heads. And this is They're heads. All heads up. We're from bottom to front. Then the second needle goes through the second hole. Double pull wire. The lines on both sides we are the same length on the right now. Here. Normal forward sewing. There's a big hole here. This large hole is unsewn. We're going to start with small holes. 수량. Su, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all sewn 6. Up to the sixth hole. The sixth hole is sewn. The fifth hole is not sewn. Come get this. Take this way. Take the bag here. 12,345. The sixth and sixth holes are all sewn. Take this thread out to the bottom. Like his corresponding hole seam. Is he over here? Down there. This is the hijab. Wear down. It should be noted that this hijab will be tied when wearing it. Don't poke it. Materials here. Both materials are facing up. Then sew it over slowly. Be sure to pay attention when sewing. Don't poke the material here. From this pointy hand seam to the sixth hole. Okay, this stitch is the sixth one. 123,456. Now I'm sewing the sixth one. From this shoulder bottom is sewn to the surface. When facing the bottom, you only need to wear a belt. When you wear it down, you don't need to wear this bag. Come out the middle. Take a look at this button, then this front, this back. Sew it over normally. Sew to the end of the last small hole. All holes have been collected. Is this location here? No need to sew to this part of this round hole. Reinforce a needle. This position is on the front and back. So, when you close the line, you have to look better. That's it. The other belt is sewn first in the same way. Sew it over and sew it to this position. Then sew the connection here. Sew it to the last hole separately. These two large holes are no for hardware, just sew small holes. Both belts are sewn together. Put this material next to it for later use. Get a material that looks like a square. This is the lining. The whole base material is composed of poo stickers on both sides. Then take a look at
It can
the hole
also be
position.
divided
Large
into
front
front
hole
and
reverse
back.
hole. Two edges can be seen. It's the narrow side. It's curved on one side is a straight line. A straight line is short. Then the curved one is high. This way, you can probably compare it. Then fold that hole in half. There's no hole in the middle. Just fold it in half. Sew from the bottom. Sew to this position. Single needle. Come back and here. Go. Come back again, and then double stitch again. And double stitches to then this side. Then take a needle. Single needle. Come back again, and then double needle back to this place. Now, let's measure the line first. 4 times the amount of this 1234. Then measure 4 times this width. After sewing the thread, we measure the thread 4 times this length. Fold it in half. After folding in half, the curved one should be higher than the straight one. When we compare like this, about 1.5 to 2 centimeters larger than this place, you can choose by yourself. Make as many as you want. Like this, just fold it in half. It doesn't say which hole must be fixed. First stitch first. Then put the second needle through. What do you mean? Double pull, and then sew. Just start the needle. We clip this. Start sewing forward. To this location, single needle pass. Don't move the other needle. After this, sew the hole back. Then wear it forward. When wearing it, don't wear it here. Come out of here. After coming out, the double needles go this way. Normal is slowly coming. At this point, you have to count the holes. 1,234,567. It's the seventh one is folded in half. Stitch is to add the seventh stitch now. 1,234,567 on the bottom side of the bottom edge goes through the seventh needle. Then see which line is long. Take the long side of the line. Elongate the thread here too, so sew it up. Then sew it over normally. Sew to the end. The seam is in the gap. Then cut. Just increase the line. It will be cut shorter when cutting. Then sweep it in. Take up the line and put this next to it. You can go to the front and rear. Now sew this hand, sew this position. This location. Let's take a look first. Which way is the front? Which side is the side? This is the front. When you look at this, it doesn't look good here. Take this side as the front. You feel good on the other side. Whatever you want. This oil edge can only be on the left and right sides. He can't go up and down bend. Up and down. Will he wrinkle? If he can't go back to his original position. He has to be on his side like this, on the sides. Like this. I think it looks better here. It can be like this. It looks better here. Like this. Put the other one on the other big one. This is lurking. Put it on latent. Then the slant line. 4 times the amount of line. Measure the line 4 times the width. From the first hole on the right. The first hole on the right starts. It goes from the inside out. Then put on the hand. The hand is the last stitch in this thread. Take a look. Put it aside. The second needle goes through the second hole. Then this also goes through the second hole. Double pull wire. Keep going. Keep going. Use the handle for this position. Open it up. Sew to this pointed position. A thread. A single needle, a thread, come and go. Okay, come again. Open this up. If you can't see the hole inside, now you can open the last hole and see. When it comes to the last hole, don't go through the needle at the bottom. Just a needle through the face. Plus, rule. Wait a minute, some more glue. This one is done. So it normally sew to this single place, needle single up, needle then down, double needle. When it comes to the last stitch, the needle goes down. You can wear it to the end. And then the penultimate stitch comes through. In this case, the last stitch is not easy to sew. Two needles coming at the same time. Then take it to the hand. Bend like this. Then put it on this side. Sew up this side of the hand. The other hand is sewn on the seam on the lurking. This line, let's see for ourselves. Whichever side you use, which side do you use? He is a little different. You can see that the two handles are all sewn.